Hello. I am
Hello.
joined today by the lovely Hayley Dorrian. Hayley is the co-owner of a vitalistic chiropractic centre in Harrow. She's the mum of two gorgeous kids and one half of a dynamic duo, Hayley and Kelly. Now, Hayley and Kelly, as a partnership, provides support and community for parents, chiropractors, health practitioners, and really anyone searching for a different approach to health. Now, Hayley also runs the fantastically successful revival retreat for women who are struggling with overwhelm, and which I was lucky enough to help out with last year, and I had so much fun. Now, she's very kindly agreed to chat with me today about her journey and why women empowering women is so important. So, Hayley, great to see you. Thank you for being on.
Hi, Claire. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure, pleasure. So, Hayley, just for people who don't know who you are, just tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay, so really for me, my working background, my career background was very much into travel in the family business, and then also project management training, which I did for a number of years then before I got married and sort of started a family. So I've had pretty much a business background for many years, and it was only really until I married my husband Connell, who had just graduated as a chiropractor, and got involved in the background of the chiropractic practice, and then sort of developing and growing it from there. So for me, my journey really was very much a business background, not necessarily health, and then obviously when I got involved with Connell and the business, I've sort of learned then as the years have gone on regarding health and well-being, and raising our two children in an alternative approach to health.
Yeah, I love that. And actually, it's quite funny because our backgrounds are so similar. I worked in corporate, met my other half who's a chiropractor, and then I came into the chiropractic and health world and then moved on to doing what I'm doing. So I love that we've kind of done this
in parallel.
Yeah. Hayley, you run the revival retreat, and you're also part of Hayley and Kelly. Can you tell us a bit more about that and how you sort of got into doing what you are doing now?
Yeah, well, it's been a bit of a journey, but it's been a great journey, and it probably took me a number of years to willingly accept that I could do more within this type of industry or profession that I gave myself credit for. So a very good dear friend of mine, Dr. Kelly Jane McLaughlin, who is a fantastic chiropractor. We've been friends for many, many years, really, since I met Connell. His best friend is her husband, and we've hung out socially and raising our kids together over the years. And it was really a couple of years ago, Kelly kept saying to me, you know, we should, between the two of us, we kept getting asked lots of different questions about what we do and how we raise our kids and why we do it. Kelly just said, you know, we should team up together and help more women, more mums, more families, you know, so share our ideas and share our experiences, because a lot of people want to try different alternatives approaches to health, but they're unsure, or they're, you know, full of fear. And so we just teamed up and set this inside out forum, where we have monthly speakers that come and talk on our calls, but we also have an online platform which we support parents with sort of advice, tips, experiences, and just support and morale, because sometimes being a mum and a woman, when you're trying to multitask work and raising kids, can sometimes be, you know, challenging at the best of times. So we just recognized there was a real need for a community. So once we set up this forum, it really took off, and we've done a whole year now, and it's been amazing. And we're just going into our second series now, and we're having a number of people sign up, which has been brilliant, joining, hearing what we've done, and wanting to sort of connect with the people involved in the group. So we've had such a successful year, and we've loved and enjoyed every minute of it. And then off the back of that, once we had the forum going, I noticed that there was a lot of women, and not necessarily that just mothers on the forum. They are practitioners, or maybe alternative people who just want to learn more about different health choices. And I noticed that there was a lot of women on the course that were also asking questions for themselves, and like I said, perhaps were there the juggling of work and motherhood sometimes takes its toll. And so I then recognized that women just needed a platform or an opportunity to go away, leave their normal environments, and obviously we travelled abroad to Austria last year, and just that creating that space and that time for them to reconnect, re-engage with themselves. And whilst I don't do a lot of them, I've just done one, and hopefully another one coming later on this year. I recognise it was so successful because women just needed time out, and it was creating that space and platform to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And particularly with the forum, I would imagine at the moment, with everything that's going on, the fact that and I've spoken to women groups, and the thing that comes up is the fact that they love their children dearly, but at the moment they feel like they're on top of them. They've got their own work, they're trying to homeschool. You know, if their kids are young, they can't even go to the toilet without being followed. You know?
Yeah, listen,
have you experienced a surge going on with regards to that?
Yeah, there's a significant amount of input in the forum at the moment, as you can well imagine. But you know what, I think it's also a balance, and I think a lot of the people within the group are understanding, you know, sometimes fighting a particular scenario, you almost sometimes just have to go with it. And so there's a lot of advice going into the forum at the moment, but there's a lot of laughs as well. There's a lot of positivity shares, which is great. And yes, your tips and techniques about how to, you know, deal with kids that are frustrated because they are indoors more than they normally are. And kids need space, and they need regular exercise, and they need regular contact. And obviously that is lacking at the moment. So there's a lot of tips and ideas going into the forum, as well as a lot of the giggles as well.
Fantastic. So obviously you've already spotted an area where women are perhaps reaching out for some help. What's the number one issue you see that tends to hold women in particular back?
Well, I recognise it comes dressed up in all sorts of ways, but primarily it's fear. It's fear that of trying something new, possibly being rejected, failing. I think when you are either a woman in a high-powered position, you have almost a mask, an exterior type front, and people tend to lose their identity, whether it's in a high-flying job, or if it's a mother, or just really anyway. I think women can tend to lose their way, and often they're at the bottom of the pecking order when it comes to prioritizing their own self, their own belief system, or even just that chance to express themselves or follow something new in their lives. And I just saw a lot of it happening. It happened to myself, and so when I speak about this, I speak from experience. Certainly when I became a mother, it was the most fantastic feeling in the world, and you felt a huge responsibility, but the rewards were so significant in the same breath. But then you kind of sort of lose. I lost my way a little bit. You know, who was I? What did I really want to do other than be a mother? And so I recognised fear was primarily the most common factor to hold women back, or not allow women the chance to express themselves in their full capacity. But like I said, fear comes dressed up in many ways. So, you know, what fear to me could be one thing, it could be very, very different to another lady in a different situation. So yes, I often find that people use the excuse, I don't have the time. I don't have the time because I'm busy working, or I don't have the time because I'm raising a family, or I don't have the time because I'm a carer, or whatever the scenario may be. That often comes as a front for fearing that they can't achieve or do something different.
Yeah, I totally agree. And in fact, we met properly at a retreat, the Circle of Fire.
We did.
Where it was a retreat for women involved in the chiropractic world. And I think it was, I don't know, I think for both of us, it's possibly our first real experience of something like that. And the fact that when all the women sat down together and shared, everyone ended up having the same issues or the same feelings. They might have been coming at it from a different way, but just as you said, the underlying issue was having lost their identity somehow, being afraid to go for something because of a feeling of not being good enough in some way or something like that. And it was a real eye-opener. Now, with regards to your revival retreat, that was an absolute blast last year. I had such a good time. I think all the ladies who were there did. You got some really good reviews from that. So what was, because running a retreat is a bit of a big deal. So what was the inspiration behind that, and there must have been some fear around that as well.
Well, funnily enough, going back to what you just mentioned, our first experience with sort of being in a group, within a setting of a group of women, and sharing perhaps our fears and limitations at the Circle of Fire was revolutionary for me. It was amazing. It definitely came at the right time in my life to address my fears or perhaps my limiting beliefs. And so when we went on our second one of that particular retreat, Circle of Fire, they talked about going out into our communities and spreading the same opportunity for other women to come together to share. And I recognise, that is so important. Yes, the chiropractic world is amazing, and they're so supportive in every way when it comes to people allowing people to express themselves or feel that they are empowered with what they're doing. But I recognised as I've got older, a lot of friends that I know, a lot of women that I know, don't have that platform to be able to talk about things or change things. They're kind of living a little bit on the treadmill or the hamster wheel, and they're not able to have those opportunities. So this is where the Revival Retreat came from. Was about being able to create a platform myself for women that aren't necessarily in our profession, that want the chance to step out of their environment, step out of their off their hamster wheel, and be able to do something for themselves. So yes, whilst running a retreat, there's many parts to it, and there are many challenges along the way, and some that you can plan for and some that you just can't. But I think with my background of travel and my project management training, I think a lot of that was put to good use, and I was able to multitask the various things that needed to happen leading up to it and during it, and then obviously the after section of it as well. So yeah, I think my experiences came together to run what I really wanted to do it. It was such an opportunity and such a privilege to be able to do it. And like you said, I think the group of ladies that came on was sensational. They were very much game for it all, and they didn't hold back. And it really made it just made a huge difference, because their participation on a high level was just outstanding.
That's the thing, they all played 100%, and I know quite a few of them, this was their first retreat, and there was that element of fear.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, what's going to happen? But by the end of the weekend, there were some really life-changing transformations, I think, which is absolutely fantastic.
There are a lot of shifts from. Sorry, go ahead, Claire.
Absolute kudos to you for that as well, for allowing the space for that to happen.
Well, like I said, I just saw it as an exciting time. And one thing when I was going through that process is, having experienced something like that before, like you said, and the fear of, oh my God, what's going to happen, and where's this going to play out. And I remember feeling all those emotions when we were attending our first women's retreat. And so I think whilst we had a lot of people that had never been exposed to anything like that, you could see that they were like, what's going to happen, and that fear-based scenario. But you also recognise that the transformations at the end of them, that they've gone on and done things that they possibly felt they could never have done. So and I'm not saying it's a reflection of the retreat. It was just creating that space for them to know that they could do something for themselves, or we could empower them from within, just as a support network only. And they've been able to take that step further, and that's been the most sensational sort of follow on from the retreat itself.
Yeah, fantastic, brilliant. So what are your plans for the rest of the year? Because obviously I know you wanted to do another retreat with everything that's going on at the moment. I don't quite know how that's panning out for you.
Well, at the moment, yeah, I mean, we had quite a few things planned for this year, which obviously we've had to postpone and scupper due to COVID-19. And obviously we have to respect the current climate, and which we are. The revival retreat, the second one, is due to happen in September. As of yet, I don't know if that's going to happen. So I'm just sort of going with it. As I said, there's things that you can resist and fight at the moment, and there's a lot of things that you just have to be in the balance and go with, and that's certainly one of them. We'll see what happens, but I would love to think that the retreat would happen again in September. If not, it will be rescheduled for next year for sure. And yeah, we've got our parenting forum. We're just launching the second series, and that's been a huge take up at the moment, because people are looking for that community now to get involved. So there is still lots happening, albeit maybe virtually at the moment. But yeah, I would like to think the revival retreat will happen in September. But like I said, if it doesn't, it'll be something we'll reschedule for next year for sure.
Okay, fantastic. So hey, that's been really, really cool. I'm sure there's quite a lot of women watching who are thinking, what, how do I contact Hayley about this and get involved? So how do people get hold of you, Hayley? Where can they go?
Well, there's three ways, your usual ways really. So we have a website, which is www.hayleyandkelly.co.uk. Up there we have a list of all the forum that I just talked about, the retreat, and then obviously Kelly herself is running some pregnancy workshops with chiropractors. So we have an abundance of events up on the website. And then also we've got our usual Facebook page, Hayley and Kelly, that you can reach out to us on, or our Instagram page, which is Hayley and Kelly 1. So multiple ways in which you can get in contact. We'd love to hear from you, and yeah, let's connect, because I think it's so important in today's world, particularly if you're looking for just a like-minded community and alternative health choices.
Yeah, absolutely, that's great, thank you. So I'll also put links to those in the comment section, so people can find them easily. So Hayley, thank you so much for your time today. Just before you go, and I'm going to spring this on you slightly, you mentioned in the forum you give tips.
Yes.
What's a top tip you could share with people right now?
I've kind of covered a wee bit of it. We just talk about being balanced, so being present in the moment. So a lot of people are worried about the future, a lot of people are worried about the past, a lot of people are worried about, is there going to be significant changes to their work life, and as a result of that, stress levels are rising. And so we're kind of just saying there's not a lot of things that you can plan for, particularly at the moment, because we just don't know what's going to happen around us. So we're just supporting, and when somebody is saying, oh, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that, we're just saying live in the present, live in the moment, take the time at home to either do nothing, relax, because a lot of people we find we're panicking initially, like I should upskill, I should be doing something else, I should be, learning a language. But we also recognise that it's been quite a trying time for people. And, we were all supporting various people saying, take time out, just relax. Or, if you want to learn a language, great, go for it. But don't feel this need or this pressure to upskill during this time, because I think there was a tremendous feeling of what do I do with my time, and as parents and quite a lot of the people within the group, I was saying I'm just enjoying time hanging out with my kids, whether it be eating good food, being out in the garden, we're lucky enough to have a garden, getting some vitamin D, and just playing board games, stuff we haven't done for ages. So I would just recommend live in the present, live in the moment. We can't predict the future, so try not to stress about what will be, because as it happens, I think trust the process. Things will happen and things will evolve, and you'll adapt and work within that environment for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So stop shitting all over yourself.
Yes, exactly. Stop putting that pressure on yourselves about being perfect at this, that, and the other. At the moment, for me, I've just enjoyed the process of just being present and being still, because I haven't really had this opportunity to be still for quite some time. So I've really embellished it and loved it. So
that's fantastic. Oh, thank you so much, Hayley. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. Best of luck. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the Revival Retreat in September goes ahead.
thank you,
But
lovely.
if it doesn't, I'm sure it will be fine for next year. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. And hope.
Thank you. Likewise. Yeah.
Take
Take
care.
care. Thank you, love. Bye-bye.
Bye.